Okay, roll call.
Chairperson Elizabeth Andrews,
Here.
Vice Chairperson, Secretary Nicole Coffin,
Here.
Angela Garber, and Megan Salvatore.
Here.
Okay, we'll have a moment of silence and stand for the flag. Would you like to lead us in the pledge? Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any additions, deletions, or reorganizations of the agenda?
I just wanted to make sure that we took off the bit about Old Home Week. It seems like there's a committee that's being made about it. I don't think that needs to be on the agenda anymore for us.
So is this from 7A or 8?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I see pictures for Old Home Week under 7A on today's agenda.
Yeah. And then also an 8, Old Home Week is like the third or fourth bullet point.
You're right, now I see that too. Thank you. Yes.
Would it be possible to move Councilor Owens a little bit?
Oh, so you can
So-
get your,
That's on the bottom. Yeah. That's in our
oh,
follow-up.
it's on the back.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, so we're gonna
What's that?
change it. So we're removing 7A. We're removing 8 bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're also moving Town Square. We're gonna stick that at the top of new business as well.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Not
Okay.
for me?
So is it approved as we've just adjusted it? Motion to approve?
I motion. Yep, motion, second. Andy. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody. Okay. All right, citizen comments. Anyone other than Nora have any comments? Yes. Yes?
I like to know why.
Please come to the podium and state your name and your address. And your address.
Here you go, sir.
I would like to know why Parks and Recreation is dropping on Hometown Week. My name is Eric Kaufman, for the record, Columbia citizen since 1968.
I asked to remove the picture slideshow, just because I don't have them, and there's an ad hoc committee being created for Old Home Week, which Parks and Rec should have some representation on, but I just don't see the need to show all the photos during the meeting. That's why I requested that to be removed from the agenda today.
Is Old Home Week with its own committee, does that mean we're kind of out of it and just catching updates?
I have no idea the updates on the committee. I just know that an ad hoc has been proposed and I believe started. I was invited by Rick Fisher. I'm not totally sure who is in charge of the ad hoc. Maybe Chris seems to know some.
Matt has all of
Information.
We are putting a committee together. We're not going by old movie. We're going by 300th anniversary.
Nice.
The old movie is 1888. That's when that started. So the anniversary. So in 1923. So there's not that many of those. There's definitely going for 300th anniversary. So we can actually have raise very mansion, all the buildings involved, churches involved, things like that. So that committee started before we're on our first meeting in January. We're going to invite as many people as we can. Mark Fisher reached out to me, to Floyd, Old Club Grounds Company, these type of organizations, we definitely want to get involved. We're talking a large committee because this has to be done quick. It has to be a quick response to it. It should have started 2-3 years ago. So this committee will have their hand in everything. And I want to make sure that we do this correctly and bring a lot of people. This could be months of different events and celebrations. So that's what we're working on right now. So right now we have about 10 people, but we were definitely going to start putting out the work papers out. Everybody else who wants to get involved with this.
So,
We'll have an old Halloween style type of event with that,
right,
but we definitely want to celebrate the 300 years ago.
absolutely, that was the whole idea behind having this old, quote unquote, old hometown week.
Exactly. We want to celebrate 300 years.
I guess my point is, it's an event throughout Columbia, for Columbia, and I think Parks and Recs should be a part of it. I'm not saying that they're not part of it. I'm saying maybe an ad hoc under Parks and Rec, and kind of like Nora does, just come give a report. But I feel the borough should have say in what's going on. Also, with events and everything else going on, it'd be a lot easier to go through Parks and Rec than it would be to fill out different events throughout the year. The other thought I had was maybe the same year President-elect wants to do a year-long celebration as well. And he has said that he was going to fund it. The borough will be able to get money through that funding. I think a lot easier than individual committees here and there. So,
Yeah, and PA250 would be involved a lot. I already did 2 podcasts for them about our history, statewide. So we definitely want to get that. I know.
We've hosted some meetings and will continue to host meetings for opportunities for funding.
back feet, those back feet. Use a different one.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. It's just my point. I just feel like, I don't think the borough should take a second seat.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Can I speak on that a little bit?
My time's up, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, your time's up, sir, Mr.
Yeah,
Kaufman.
next time we got a timer for him.
Yeah, we weren't getting much interest. Councilman Kaufman mentioned he wanted to do that in meetings like this. However, that we weren't hearing anything from anyone else. So I believe that's why the townspeople, some of the townspeople are getting together to start a committee to make that magic happen. If I'm incorrect in that, please, like the support of the Borough Council, I guess I would say. We haven't heard
Seems
much
like
about it.
Like a robust
Secretary Kaufman.
committee would be needed.
I would just like to say that as the Recs committee members, I would assume
Mhm.
that if you wanted to put an ad hoc committee together or plan something, you would reach out to the different groups and organizations throughout the borough to do that.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
I do appreciate you, Mr. Kaufman, saying that the committee could report to us.
Yes.
I think that's a nice way to let the committee ride, but also have the borough have its say. That
Or be
was
part of it. That's the whole idea.
a nice suggestion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kaufman, for your comments.
But it sounds like this is already happening without us.
But the first
Well,
meeting
it's
started
not.
in January. We
Okay.
could,
And we're always prepared to set the date so everybody can be. Work around the dates that we-
Most of us have been invited.
yeah, Rick was definitely
just
reaching me
need to
wide for
get on
interest
that.
and support.
You guys need to be, like, your information needs, Rick Fisher.
I'll just be
Was
real.
he in
And
charge
Chris
of
knows
Columbia
how.
He's
Connections?
basically getting everybody to know this my bad. So I'll just be ready.
He's
Doing your legwork.
Pretty much.
So I guess Chris also knows, so if you do want to be, you can let Chris know, he's also part of that. Right, am I correct in saying those things? Okay. Wonderful. I think everybody wants to be part of it, it's gonna be a good time. Good thing for Columbia. That's good, everybody wants to be part of it.
Okay, and then on to number 7, new business. We're gonna start with Town Square. It's kind of a follow-up, so it's technically old business, but it's new information, so go ahead, Laura.
Good evening, everyone. I just, you have my report that was requested, and if anyone has any questions, I'm glad to answer them. I mean, I try to make it pretty clear and give you information I would think you might be interested in as far as how it's going this first seasons. So, glad to answer any questions or anything at all you might have as far as what I have reported.
I will say, I think we were expecting like price items too. So
What?
like how much did certain things cost to operate or to repair or to maintain or like volunteer hours? That might be on here. I didn't-
Yeah, I have volunteer hours, but there
Or like
was,
the price of the trimming contractors.
no, I have a quote for the trimming, but that wasn't spent this year. So
Okay.
what you see there is what was spent, $500 from Great Columbia, $250 from Rob through Thrivent, and then the fountain, if you want to know that was like $100 as far as the pump.
Okay.
So there wasn't anything beyond that. Yard waste bags are donated by the borough. Everybody else's labor was volunteer. But going forward, we would like to get the trees trimmed ahead of the PPL so that they don't trim them too aggressively. And also the holly bushes there need a professional trimming. We have gotten a quote from Integrity, which is Jeff McMillan Jr., but I didn't submit it yet because I was going to wait till the beginning of the year and see how this goes and if everything is, if you're okay with what has happened so far and this. But other than that, there isn't much cost. I mean, we basically spent what was donated to us.
Right. Did you guys end up doing the mulch, like swapping some of it out and stuff like that?
No.
That didn't happen?
No, we tried to turn the soil over and add the compost that the borough provided, and it's like a rock up there. So that was like, especially with the heat, it was like, well, we're not doing this. Like we did some of
We had
it.
enough rain in the summer for that.
It was really tough conditions up there as far as how hard the soil got, the more and more it got dry. So that was something we want to do, but it was just not physically possible with the manpower that we had this summer with the heat.
And it took a while to get that started too, being able to do the work and stuff like that. I remember it took a while for approvals and information back and forth. So-
No, really. You guys did a good job, and that stuff was approved under the maintenance that they said we could do, which that was definitely part of that, along with the sweeping and keeping the fountain clean and running, and all the other things that I mentioned that we did. Just the basic care, making sure the trash cans were emptied, making sure the cigarette butt holders got emptied by the borough, just keeping it well kept so that people. I mean, they really did notice it, so hopefully you guys did. I know Megan was there with me, so maybe other guys stopped by the rest of the summer, and Joanne Bryce came by. She personally came in the one day, which was really nice, and thanked us in person. But other than that, but if there's any other things that you were looking for, Liz?
Just the final question is, do you guys plan on doing it again moving forward?
I guess it depends. Yeah, I mean, we're willing to do it if you want us to. Again, it's a lot of work, as you can see, 330 hours in the course of most of the year, actually, 33 weeks. And if we can continue to have good volunteers like we had, and, just a matter of keeping that going. Our schedule is always busy during the summer, so I'm glad we were able to do what we did, especially with metering the water every day. But we're going to definitely try, and we have plans going forward. Craig Columbia is on board again to continue through the Columbia Town Gardeners. They have put it in their budget to help, and I have tulips that will need to be planted, which I'll start to do here in the near future. That we ordered tulips, so only go in the pots. They're not going to go in the ground. So we're going to put them in the big pots, and then the smaller pots that we had around the fountain, get them in the ground, or get them in the pots, and then in the spring, you take the ones that are smaller up there and put them back around the fountain, and the big ones hopefully will bloom, and that will be the beginning of the replanting of the tulips. But we didn't plant anything in the beds because of the plans going forward.
And then is there any additional support that we could either request for you guys on behalf of from the borough that could help you guys do better or do anything differently?
No, I mean, I'm happy if you're happy. It was a good experience, and the most rewarding part was just being up there. So financially, it's always nice to have a budget to work with, but at this point, we don't want to ask for any money that we don't currently see that we need, other than the trimming of those trees and bushes. That'll be, I'll submit that, like I said, next month.
Okay.
I didn't think it was good at the current time with different stuff that's going on to have one more bill that you might want to see at the end of the year here. But that's.
Anyone else have questions?
May I ask a question? I know I'm
Not yet.
The past borough manager and I was, waiting for $1.25 million rec fee grant from the Market House. And then I were working on waiver signage. And I know I spoke to Michelle about possible portions to facing wall of the town square, possibly signage saying, welcome to the store downtown Columbia.
Yeah, I thought there was some money available for town squares and grants related to that.
That's one thing I don't see as a welcoming mat in our downtown. We don't see signage on the outside.
Right.
Welcome. And I thought that town square on that outer wall, you see, welcome to the store downtown Columbia, would be really a welcoming mat in our downtown. One thing we don't see.
Yeah.
And Mark and I spoke about that, because I was going to be spirited for that. Of course, we haven't seen the rack fee money here yet,
Yeah.
but that's one thing we were going to be working on, the First Street corridor and this corridor.
We did talk about a sign before at Town Square, so that's something that was brought up but not pursued because the money hasn't been there yet, but yeah.
I'm not sure how you pick up on the outside, basically, signage. Now, we're talking really nice signage. We're not talking
Yeah.
signage.
I guess I can always consider it. I just, I hadn't thought of putting it in there. We have the huge billboard that we have now coming off of Route 30 for the welcome. Yeah. 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 No,
And to concrete it as town square,
Yeah, I mean,
You know what?
it'd be really professional.
what'd
and
you
to
say, Mick?
concrete the park as town square.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, within reason, signs are always a interesting thing, what people think looks good. Yeah, okay. Not anything flashing or electronic. Yeah,
I'm sure you would see design plans.
yeah.
They've never been here before. They entice them to come
I-
down.
That sounds really great. Yeah, I mean, as part of the redesign that's the kind of thing we would look at and incorporate that into design. And one of the things I have on here, I don't know if you saw, was a potting shed too. So maybe on one side, like around the potting shed, which is that little area that has basically nothing in it right now. It had some, like 3 moms. So we could do something nice there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, love to look at ideas and designs for that. Yeah.
So. we
That's,
were-
that's everything for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Do you think it would be possible to get a sheet like this next year prior to October? And we're asking because the budget for the town is done in that time. So we would want to try to budget certain money from Parks and Recs to go specifically to town gardeners for maintaining the town square, but we would need to know what that is before they do their planning for next year.
At this point, I mean, you could, but it's not going to be much different than this year, other than, that's why we're not trying not to spend the borough's budget, because we know things are tight, and that's why we're trying to
Right,
continue
but
to
it should
do.
also be there, like, there should be some allotment, whether it's only $500.
Yeah.
Or something from the borough, it should be available, like, for you
Yeah.
guys to also get the money and also do the work, and also, it is a borough property. So
Okay.
there should be some.
Well, I can try. This was the first year.
In the budget, right?
Yeah.
It's already in it, but we already have a line item for the town square
There is.
currently.
There's, each park has its
And
own
I think what they
line
used it for this year was fixing the
Maintenance.
bricks. Yeah, the
Okay.
brick work up there and
just for maintenance, no extra.
no maintenance. Yeah, but the
So then that-
brickwork that was done, I'm sure came out of
And then
that.
the foliage needs to have its own section of budget, not
Yeah.
just the maintenance of.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I'll have these to go off of for next year. So that should be possible. Yeah, for
I
sure.
like that. That prepares us to support you in
Yeah.
the event that you can't receive a donation you expected.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I don't know that we can.
Yeah, I mean, more money is always nice, and I know you have a cushion, but yeah, we were totally trying to work off of,
And we get that, but we
yeah.
also want realistic. And,
Yeah.
and what can the borough do to support that with the people who are already doing it?
okay,
So,
yeah, if you want to put it in there and we need it, fine. If we don't, we won't,
Right.
we'll use what we have.
Thank you, Norm.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're
Thank
welcome.
Okay. I'll do this.
So back to the top.
Yes, so we're skipping pictures. Borough manager Caulfield is not in today, so we're skipping that as well. Table event Saturday, November 30th is no longer here. Consider a volunteer application for Chris Vera.
You said consider a table, okay, that's down here further. It should have been in old business about November 30th table and event, we had one.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be under new business, it should be under old. That's, when I asked her to put it in, she put it in new and it was old business.
That or it's left over from the meeting.
True.
So we're going to consider volunteer application for Chris Vera. We all have a copy of it. Are you in the borough? Residing? Okay. I don't remember the bylaws on how many you have to be from or not, but I think we're all from, so.
You don't need, the bylaws changed like this year. You don't need to be if you work or have a business in Columbia.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
I had no idea you were a youth girls basketball coach, Chris. 8 years, 7, 8 years.
Mhm.
If that matters, I think about plumbing basketball.
Coach Vera.
They call me CC.
I don't have any questions for Chris at this point.
So when did it start?
Yesterday.
January.
I think everyone's good. I mean, your name precedes you for the most part, I think, in town, so I want to say welcome aboard.
I think there's a lot of things that make a difference. And I'll stop, so.
I think.
But we're going to avoid burnout, right?
Right.
We're going to avoid burnout,
I don't
though.
believe in burnout. So let's get things done. So there's a lot of things that I think the borough does need, you know. We need to look at that. We need to the Banner Township, to allow the state offer free tickets to amusement parks around Pennsylvania. You can go up and get discount tickets. I don't want to be on the shop, but I think it's a good push for it. That's what we're here for, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just parks, it's recreation.
I think you bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, both personally, professionally, and in your offside hobbies. You know, you have a lot to bring from the Columbia Historic Preservation Society, a lot from just your interest in involvements in town. And then I think, being at the Market House has its advantage for us too.
Currently, work with on the school district, I'll be doing a whole day in service with teachers, teaching them all that stuff. District 7 classes that day. Plus I'm doing 4 on the 17th with the class. That's actually doing all the historic buildings around town. They're doing essays, on working with the school board district now, first time ever. So proud, finally they stepped up. It's pretty bad when you have matter, you ask all those other schools come in. Now it's probably focusing more on the district. So it's amazing. So I'm proud of that. You get the kids involved.
It's a fun opportunity.
That's the big thing, get the families and the kids involved in this borough. I think we have to say yay or nay, and then it goes to council to decide if if Chris actually is accepted. They vote on it.
So
So we
may I
have to
have
make
a motion to accept Chris Vera on Parks and Rec Committee?
make a motion. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nancy made the motion, Ms. Kaufman seconds.
Yep.
You guys say all in favor, say aye.
All in
Yeah,
favor?
Aye.
Everyone's in favor? I have your first assignment. So we noticed on the Columbia Borough webpage, they don't have great detailed information about our parks and the history of them. I have a little bit that is not with me today on Maple Parks, but for Rotary and River Park, but some of the history that goes into them, our webpage does not display that. So I think maybe that would be a something that you might be able to follow up.
Back to the day, or.
However,
Well, right now, just currently updating.
just whatever we can dig up on them, honestly.
Yeah, it has like 2
Historical.
paragraphs that
Yeah.
aren't accurate, so if just each part could have some representation in text.
Right, and I did obtain some stuff, but I believe they have files in the borough somewhere for it. Mark,
We gotta get.
well, they had some, Mark had some in his office before he had left, and I had gotten copies of some of the original people involved with the park and a woman who had given it to the borough and so forth. So I'll try to get that to you as well. But yes, updating the borough page for the,
Plus, even yes.
that'll be a new one, right? That should have its own thing. Right, right.
Maybe just connecting the plans to that page too.
I don't want to
Something,
keep
yeah.
giving him assignments.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's
We'll
just
have
the
to
one,
help
the
him.
history of our park.
Let's let him get it on first. Don't giving him assignments. We got to get him approved first. Look at Eric's shaking his head. So let's just, I get you got an agenda. That's good.
Okay, old business. October 24th, survey results at the Market House and Mardi Gras Parade.
We had 40 surveys, lots of kids, lots of families that came through. I tabled there with Councilman Kaufman and my daughter that whole night. And it was wonderful, actually. It was wonderful to get out and be in front of people. We did a survey, gave out candy and Frisbees and mugs. Chris provided mugs that he had left, and every time a parent filled out a survey, I gave him a mug. But kids got lollipops. We were there for the evening till probably right after the parade started, and people started scooting out to the front of the building. And I thought it was a good event, so it went well.
What was on the surveys?
It asked what parks you have gone to in Columbia, what you enjoyed at the parks that we have, what would you like to see at our parks. We saw swings, of course. That was a big thing. We asked them what they've seen at other parks that they've enjoyed, that they would like to see in ours. I even got a waterfall, but splash pads, things
Yeah.
like that. Some of that might not be something we can do right now, but there was a lot that we could. And what did they think Parks and Recs meant to them for their town? And they said bringing the community together. Yep, a lot of people said that. I wanted to know what people thought we were, what our committee was about, and what we represent.
Golf parks is one another.
Yes, yes, I have all the results. It's in my laptop at home. I was keying
Good
in.
idea.
The dog
Dog
park
parks
has been
is a
at work for like
big-
15 years.
Yeah.
It's been an ongoing community.
Your Cannon Park, right, one of the best dog parks, that's people I would.
They do, they do. They have a nice one. They have one, nice ones over in York County as well. Pretty nice. Nice, nice parks over there for dogs. And they have them spaced out to like small dog, medium, large dogs, so they don't get overrun by the bigger dogs. But yeah, it was good. It was inspiring, actually.
And then the October 27th Locust Street Park table, which I did not make because I didn't know.
Yeah, we had a great time. We, so that event happened just before, or was it just after?
Just as.
Just after. So we did the same survey. I don't have the number of surveys in front of me. I
It
did
was-
send it to Michelle, but we got a good
It
number of
was probably
surveys.
40 or so.
Yeah, there were so many kids and families out for that event. It was pretty easy to get them to stick around for a minute to fill out that short application. And then Michelle also had talked to a couple of businesses in town, and we had a basket,
Yeah.
a gift basket.
We had a gift
So-
basket donated to us to raffle off for anyone who filled out a
So I think
survey.
that was a great motivator.
Yeah, she's gone. But yeah, that was great.
Mhm.
Oh,
We had a
wow.
great time. Lots of people stopped to talk with us. And then the next day or a couple days later, we drew the name and the person came right down to pick up their basket. They were very excited.
Yeah.
I would have to say one of the top answers I seen that day was a pickleball court in our parks. And it was very much that Parks and Recs and our parks bring our community together. That was the feeling for that question as well.
And frisbee golf was another one I saw a lot of. It's a big thing still. I know it was in the 90s, but I think it's coming back.
Did anyone sign up to volunteer?
Yes, that's coming up next. They didn't at those two events because we didn't have applications, but that's coming up next.
And then, any other questions about the tables?
There's still the November 30th table.
Oh, we have to bump that down. So
Yeah.
yes, the November 30th.
That was,
Small Business Saturday.
yes, that was Small Business Saturday. We did a craft with the kids, which was a window. What was it? A window. I can't think of it now. No, it was a dream catcher, right. So our family worked together to get this done, to get it ready, prepare for the littles and their families so they could come in and look around inside the Borough, because it was open house as well for the Borough. There was a big event happening at Market House. I was going over there soliciting people to come over. It was really cold out. But we had cookies. I had some people in the community that made cookies and brought them down. I had some people in the community that volunteered to come in and work shifts. They did that. And we took pictures. We still have to post them. We got permission from all the parents. Like, is it okay? And we met so many different people. And it wasn't just Columbia people. It was people from out of the state that their families live here or live in nearby communities. Landisville, Marietta, and they said they love coming here. I asked them, like, what do you like about our community? Oh, we love your parks. We love what you're doing here in Columbia. And they were just really inspired. A lot of them are following our Facebook page now, which is kind of cool. We're looking for those pictures, which we have to get up. But we probably had close to like 50 people that came in, kids-wise, probably 30. And they glitter everywhere. Thank goodness there was something on the floor out there, because Wilson was watching me like a hawk.
He does not like glitter though.
He does not like glitter, no. But the kids did really fabulous. They ate cookies, they had snacks. There were snacks inside of here as well as out there. The families communed in here and sat here while we crafted with the kids. So they sat here and could ask questions. We had 2 people fill out applications, because I went around asking since you like it so much, where do you live? How long have you lived in our community? And would you like to fill out an application? And one actually filled one out here. I thought there was another gentleman, younger guy, like in their 30s. And I was like, this is great. I just hope they come forward. Either way, it was a great event. We didn't do a survey because we were busy with the kiddos, but I really felt it was a good turnout. I know it's not the big thing that everybody's wanting to have happen, but we don't even have our name out there. We have to keep peddling ourselves so people see us. And that was what I was trying to do, and I did that. Where I even got the energy, but I did. I was out there in the cold one. Come on in, come on in. So it was great. It was awesome, by the way. So.
The next thing up is the logo, Facebook page, and Parks and Rec email update. So Eric is still managing that, right?
Yes.
And the logo we have situated. Do we have our Facebook page yet?
Yes.
Oh, yes, that's already done, you just said.
Yes.
We're skipping Old Home Week. Any questions about the logo stuff? The exercise trail, that's something we're still kind of on hold with. We've been putting off. Is it something we want to take off the agenda or just kind of keep bumping back? Because I feel like we're really far from it. I feel like between Maple and Old Home Week and all that stuff going on, it's not something we're going to really have a chance to talk about a lot.
You don't want to forget about it.
Yeah, I think just like keep it on there, that's just the way it's still on our,
Just let it roll over.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. I hate for it to fall off the radar completely.
Yeah.
So the exercise trail is an idea. I had getting ideas from different areas, Greenfield and whatnot. They have it like around the whole park. I was thinking because Columbia is kind of a smaller town, we could connect all of our parks, maybe include the schools, and maybe include some historical settings so that we have some around town already that describe some of the buildings and their historical meaning and all that, but basically a trail to continue. But turn it into an exercise trail and the equipment in different areas, but that's a little. Okay.
Yeah, they just scan a barcode and it tells them all about that building.
Reminds me of some of like the walk club, like the Volks March, but like exercise.
We did part of the grass signs. That was part of the CEDC.
Yeah, I knew they did, so it's not
We do a barcode.
a QR code.
Yeah, we do QR codes.
Oh, you have a QR code.
That whole cemetery, we do QR codes.
I think that,
That's neat. So yeah, that's the idea behind the exercise trail.
Triangle cemetery has QR codes.
like you could put the history of each of those parks in those parks too as well. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's something we need to keep looking at, but I also know that there's a lot going on this year.
This is our first 4th of July, it's the home week, it's all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Maple Park, we still don't really know where that's at.
So do we keep it on then and pause it?
Yeah, I ended up rolling it over so it doesn't get lost. So that's something, so Maple Park, so follow up on each park. Does anyone know what's going on with Maple's design? I know they were reaching out to
Eric
engineering.
does.
Eric, if you don't mind.
So, Maple Park is in the final design stage. We're going to full basketball courts, including the bathroom from.
I'm just happy there's a bathroom, so that's all you had to say about the bathroom. There's a bathroom.
That sigh.
So,
One row, 2 nights.
I think I have a meeting coming up next week on the final drawings for Mickle Park. It'll be 2 full basketball courts. 3 full basketball
So there's
courts.
2 there, they're adding a full one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
They're moving the bathroom from the original design from one side of the park to the other side of the park where the children's play area would be in that area. That way it's closer to them.
Yeah, good idea.
Also reduces the cost of plumbing and everything else
Running
from.
the whole way across, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I was wondering about that. Did they think about a brick path? Is that in there at all, or?
No, the
bricks?
path is not in there right now, only because it's supposed to be a two-phase thing.
Okay.
And, budgetary wise, I think they think they can do it, everything they want within the grant.
Okay.
So they're trying to stay to that. There was talk also, they were going to look into the cost of lighting to put up, LED lighting instead, so.
Do we have the type now that they put meters in, money in the meter and it runs, or no?
They're just
They just go off at a certain
set
time?
up timers, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we stand right now. I have drawings for the next Parks and Rec Committee meeting.
Cool.
They'll show the full layout. I just don't have any tonight because I don't have a printer to print that big.
Okay, so we're gonna want a Maple Park update in our business for next.
Yeah, but it's minimal.
Maple Park update.
And that money's already put aside. But yes, Nora's right, we do have
A match.
the end of this year, the end of 25 to complete this project, so it'll be done. I'll probably start in the spring.
So it's a 600,000 grant
I
dollar.
don't know what the numbers
It
are.
is,
I wasn't here when this was.
450,000 is the grant, and then our match was like 40 or 50,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And ours was what? What was our portion?
The
Probably,
borough is about 50, it's somewhere between 40 and 50,000 to match.
yeah, it's probably 20%. It's usually a grant.
It's already put aside.
So spring, they're expecting.
In
to
the
start
capital
that.
account.
Hmm?
In the capital account.
So we're gonna want our next agenda.
You might just wanna
say,
stay there, Eric.
Detailed update from Eric for Maple Park.
Correct.
Okay, what's up with River Park?
I don't know, Eric, do you have an update for River Park? Nobody's gotten back to me on any of that either.
He's about meeting.
Megan, I would
Yeah.
assume you'd be able to talk about the postings
Well, I
going
have
on.
emailed the borough manager and Eric Ronaldo about what's going on, and nobody has answered me. And River Park will meet for the first time in a couple of months in January. So I'd appreciate any update you have for the council.
My understanding is that the ad hoc River Park Committee, its meeting, is for phase 3. And they just posted signs that the phase 3 area will be under construction. So until that gets done, there's not gonna be really any updates.
And that's probably why nobody has answered my emails. Thank you, Eric.
When's phase 3 supposed to start?
Nobody knows.
Weren't they waiting?
When the bridge gets
I
done.
was just
Oh, when the
gonna
bridge
say,
gets
they're
done.
3 to 5 years.
They're waiting for 462, whatever they're doing, and then starting
Oh,
that.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I was told,
the same issue.
but I thought 462 wasn't starting till 27.
Yeah.
So that means phase 3 isn't starting until 27.
Oh, no,
And that's a 3-year plan is shaky.
Pardon?
That.
It's over.
They think they can go a lot cheaper.
If they get it done by 20.
Oh, wow.
But that's not
Yeah,
really.
we're thinking a 5-year plan, not 3, so.
Okay,
It's
well, I guess
permanently
that
on.
gives you guys time to iron out phase 3.
And I think they, I don't know about the funding, but yeah,
Ooh,
lot of issues.
ooh, okay.
Okay.
Grants, we're going for grants. Alrighty, Rotary Park. There's not a whole lot there, I know. I know they said they couldn't put a water thing there because of burial grounds or something.
Yeah, right. There's something.
No.
I don't know. That could photo.
Yeah.
That
Can't
whole-
dig it up.
Committee when that came up, right?
Yeah. they
So
said
when they dug when they did the excavation for the old Bunsen house set up top there, they said they found an Indian burial. We
Yeah.
can never say that. I mean, anywhere you go,
Right.
this whole town littered with bodies, probably
Right,
with Indians. But I think the water park was more of a liability at that time. And it's a very expensive proposition for Columbia at that time, back in the day. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars to build a park like that.
Okay, but a liability is something that's easier probably to get past than what we thought were Indian
Yeah.
burial grounds.
Yeah.
Is that what stopped it for the committee prior?
We
Yeah.
were told it was because of, we couldn't dig because of a burial grounds.
Burial ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would like to see a big pavilion be built, put in
Well, that
empty
too.
ground, you know.
Definitely,
People to use, you know.
including, and I think they already have that as part of one of their designs for Rotary in the master plan. Have you seen them?
What's that for?
The master plan for Rotary and Maple, they both had new pavilions in on them.
Okay,
So that's
yeah.
part of,
Is that part of the 2040 plan?
I don't know when they're gonna get to it, but
Which
it's in
other
a
part of it?
parks master plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Now, do we work at all with Jansen's Park at all with Trinity?
we haven't
With Holy
really put
Trinity?
them in the forefront just because if we wanted to do anything in that park, we'd have to ask for permission.
Right.
So we're also trying to realize the fact that Jansen's has the support because it's not one of our parks. They have that extra maintenance and ongoing stuff that the borough parks are lacking in. It's kind of like being kept up with, but not being improved.
And that's strange because when I grew up in that park, it was still owned by Jansen's Foundation, which was a trust by Holy Trinity,
Mhm.
but yet the borough still used it for
Their events and stuff.
Their
for
park program.
for the park program.
Yeah.
Which so that so I guess Columbia really wrote
I
All those
remember when they had
along
to
with-
stop using it for field day in the elementary.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
working with them, still a good central park for
Mhm.
those kids up in that area because
I
used to
think we were
have
leaning
parks.
into like jumping in activities and stuff, but as far as like landscaping improvement, leaving that up to them and their organization. But I feel like if they came up with a plan and like needed the borough to apply for a grant or something to do that, we would definitely support something like that.
I know their new playground's going to be put up, but I guess they got a lot of money for that.
Yeah,
To
so
put
that's
into the
all.
new
Yeah,
playground, which is nice.
Yeah.
They kind of support themselves.
Yeah.
They do.
They go to the diocese and everything for money. Like they do their own thing.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think we have any.
I think.
Can't take credit for any of it.
The internet company came in and sponsored a nice
Brightspeed, yeah.
chunk of that,
Mhm.
Brightspeed.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
I
sure
saw
did.
that.
Brightspeed is very much in other places, works with Parks and Recs very closely and funds a lot of their projects. When we talked to him when they sponsored us for Riverfest, he expressed that explicitly.
I just picked up their internet service and that's great. Just gotta say that.
And I know a lot of the other grants are coming from the lottery dispense from the state now.
Yeah.
A lot of everybody's starting to attack that grant or
Yeah.
the money that's sitting there, which I know National Washington Clock Museum put their whole AC system in pretty much from that. They just did a letter of recommendation for them. So it's like, there's money out there. So you do grab it. So.
So what about using Rotary this
Brittany
year
Laura has a
for our
question.
movie park?
So-
Oh.
Oh.
What about using Rotary this year for our movie park, since Maple's gonna be
Power, we can.
digging a hole? I know there's a shed there, but I don't know if there's power in it,
Yeah, we just need power to run
the
the,
stuff.
yeah. And then we can figure out a parking plan. I mean, it's
I was
possible.
gonna say, I think they use generators, actually, we might not need the power.
If somebody has a generator.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh, that's great.
So let's
I would love
plan for our movies in the park to be in Rotary this year.
When will that still be, an August movie?
I feel like it should be the school thing again, like the whole back to school, end of summer. I don't
I
know
like
when
that
back to
too.
school is yet, but I feel like that's what we should do.
That tracks.
Rotary Park movie, end of summer. Okay, Town Square we covered earlier. You said you had something else to add?
Just a couple observations and from, number one thing I think that I hear from parents that are in my neighborhood is, of course, right now especially is safety. And that's one of the reasons they don't send their kids to the parks. And so that wasn't a concern when we were kids. And my gosh, we went all over town, but it's
Yes.
definitely a huge concern. I mean, I have neighbors who don't let their kids go outside their yard ever. And they're like, 12, 13 years old. So it's not like they're little kids, but so safety. So however you want to, whatever we can do to make,
Incorporate.
because that safety is the number one thing I think is why they're not using the parks as much as they, maybe in your surveys, they maybe mentioned it. Number two is it's great to get the grants, but keep in mind, whatever you're getting has to be maintained. If we can't do that, it's okay not to take on whatever addition, whatever, because there's nothing worse than if it's built and then it's not maintained, then people don't go to it. That's why people then start to hang out and start to do the things that we don't want them to in parks. So number one thing, we named up the park square. When we started to take care of it at the beginning of the year, people noticed and they respected it more. So we really have to be able to maintain anything we're going to build or do in the future. And just that's a big, big concern. We have a lot of great ideas and they're all good, but if we can't afford to maintain them and we don't have the manpower to maintain them, and we have to account for that somewhere, because everybody, you know, even the volunteers, we're all aging out. So these younger parents and stuff, hey, you know, they want to get involved, please get them signed up to help out in any way you can, because you need younger people. The average age, probably, like you said, is mid-50s is most of the ages of the volunteers they're helping, up till, you know, mid-70s. So we don't have a lot. You're looking ahead to 2040 or whatever. So they're just my points from being involved and seeing. And I want to support everything you're doing, but I know and being on Borough Council, budget concerns are a huge issue. So whatever you take on, it doesn't have to, and the things we do don't have to cost a lot of money. We were kids, they were just simple things. So it doesn't always have to be a building or a structure. It's more like what's going on and what can we do with the resources we currently have. So that's all. Thank you.
I have a question for you, Laura.
Uh-oh.
Do you have a connection to the high school for the high school when they have volunteers? Like, do they still have to do volunteer hours?
They waived that during COVID, and I don't know if they ever brought it
No,
back.
they stopped that.
Did they?
Okay.
One of the things they do want to use with the high school is because they have a greenhouse now, is work with them to maybe in the future grow our plants for us that we would then plant in the town square or anywhere around town. But that's a whole nother thing that they're
That's
working
what I
on.
was thinking, is to
Yeah.
make use of- I guess they're not doing
Yeah,
that
and
yet.
and again, it's just one more thing that someone has to coordinate. So it's a great idea. It does take time and it definitely can be done. And the school also, you know, has their limitations as far as their teachers, but
Right.
but that's something we've already talked to the head of the school board. I talked with him about it. And there's another person that's a consultant for the borough, and he works with the school to make those connections within the community. So yeah, we'll definitely could use anyone that wants to be involved, but the younger people for sure, whatever we can do, get them, because us old people, we're getting a little, our back, our knees, and all those things are starting to wear out, so.
Thank you, Nora.
Thank you. And then McGinnis upcoming stuff.
Eric
I hear a lot of up in the air things. So where's that going? Is it ours or not?
McGinnis.
Eric, you're getting some exercise.
Yeah.
See,
Sorry.
you should have just stayed on the board.
So McGinnis was just subdivided and approved
Okay.
at the last Borough Council meeting. So the area that will be used for a park and a hiking trail is designated now and will be for at least the next 3 years. So that's all I have on that.
So nothing's gonna be happening there for a couple years yet, but there's.
We're gonna start remediation
Right.
of the soil in the spring. April 1st is when we plan to start. Now, a lot of that's just taking the sand out of the dirt, dumping it down the river, so they have sand down the river.
For the new beach, like the stair
Just trying to alarm everybody here.
No, but that's, so we have to remediate the soil before we can actually start moving dirt and creating the infrastructure. So we're probably 2 years away, max, but the park will probably wait till the roadway's done, because the roadway will have access to a parking lot, which will have access to the park. So that's probably I say 2 years down the road, but as everybody's experience goes, it'll probably be 3.
Right, yeah.
But on the flip side of it, you can't wait 3 years to start planning either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be expensive if you want jumbo gyms and
Right.
It's hard to
Do
get.
we still, does someone still have the magazine of all the playground equipment?
I don't.
Do we want to look through it?
For what?
I don't know if Sylvia had it, I don't know if it
for December or not. So it's like playground equipment for the park. For beginners, like Doubleton.
I don't think they're ready to near that, and those costs are gonna look different from what you're
Yeah.
gonna be looked at.
Yeah.
We'll get new ones if that comes up, but I think we're way off between where the borough's at on that property.
And then Halloween in the park was already done, yeah?
Yeah, Eric and I took care of the vending.
Is this for next year?
No, this was, that should have probably come off because this all happened, we didn't have quorum, so I couldn't.
Yeah, these are kind of blended now.
Yeah, they're blended now.
Any other questions or final comments from anyone? Unofficial member?
So, yeah. One of my goals is working with the school district. I'm going to work first grade, 12th grade.
Okay.
I've worked with Michelle several times of having a kids Olympics during summer in the parks. Medals, and having all these events and stuff like that. Kids can really get out and actually,
You're bringing the old Susquehanna
old
games
school.
back.
well, we used to call it field day back in the day.
Yeah.
But, and having Olympics, and I think that having kids really use the park, utilize the park, and different parks, on different events, things like that. So, we're all about that in January. I think it would be
I love that. 'Cause I know like when I was younger, we used all the parks, you know what I mean? Like we had people
They
there.
call it field day.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like daily, like you would go there every day to the different parks and, but I don't even know how we would do that nowadays, but
Yeah, I mean, back to when we were kids, we
Yeah.
had those park programs, which I definitely, Mr. Spees ran back in the day. And he hired high school seniors to run the park.
Yeah.
So, and they watched us and my parents, remember I know her, right? What park did you go to, Gregory?
During growing time, I saw
His best
They
friend.
were really involved.
I went to that.
I was Manor,
I was Manor too.
yeah.
So, yeah, so Manners Township, I just found out, I hate to bring them up again, but they have a park program. Now, the parents do have to pay $250, $300 for the summer, but that puts more money in the kitty to hire those people we need to hire to actually watch the kids.
So Lita used to do it for us.
What's that?
Lancaster Employment Training Association is now WIB. In Lancaster, they're over by Franklin Marshall College, but that's who used to train and pay our people in the 90s. They don't exist as WIB now, but that's who I was hoping to reach out, and I don't know if grants still exist for this kind of stuff as well, but that's another, Columbia's a poverty community for half of it, so I'm thinking pulling money from grants and things like that, or seeing if WIB does what Lita used to do.
Well, you can get scholarships through the clubs, say, forest.
Right. Sponsorships, yeah.
You do a sponsorship.
Yeah.
To get those kids in that program.
Yeah.
And I guarantee these clubs would be more.
All
than-
over
Oh,
that.
yeah.
All over.
All over that,
So
okay.
that would be a program that I'd be looking at, to get them involved. Okay,
Yes,
well, take some of that.
I spoke with Hempfield Rec, and I spoke with Marietta, who uses Gears. Last, probably in October, or, yeah, they
Gears,
use, yeah. And I even spoke with their finance person at Marietta. Hempfield Rec does their own, they wouldn't be willing to come in here and do ours. Gears would come here, but I understood the accounting part of how Marietta, they're smaller than we are. They have one park. And just understanding there are kids from outside of that municipality. Their parents work in that municipality, so they utilize that park program. Both programs, one was half a day and the other one was like 9 to 3. My thought was if we could get a program started, whether we did it or went to Gears and said to the parents, okay, here's what this looks like. Here's where our fundraising came in, or merchant or club participation. This is what your cost would be, if there was any, right? Also, an after-school program.
Right.
There used to be one, I understand there was one in the schools for a while, and that's since gone. But I feel as though that our community, as it's growing, with the 30-year-olds with their kids and they've got jobs here and some have them outside of here. They need to have a resource that they can afford to not pay the daycare cost in the summer, that their kids have somewhere safe to go in the summer, like we did growing up, that isn't so terribly expensive, and their kids are in a safe space that they can walk to, because we are a pedestrian town, right? So just hearing from those other boroughs and talking to the people who run those programs was inspiring to understand it can be done. And theirs wasn't on grant money. I mean, they much. Hempfield is the rec center, so it's separate from the municipality. But their costs weren't outrageous for the summer. That's like, what, 6 to 8 weeks that the parent knows where their child is going to be, at least for half the day. The cost of that was not an inordinate amount of money. I think it was less than $200 for the entire summer for the programming. Now, if you're talking about like having them go, Hempfield Rec does a lot of, and you'd have to just build upon what you're going to do for this community. But they have a lot of field trips that cost. That's the cost. But Gears is more geared into the actual community in the park, and they actually supply the certified people to run those programs with the children. We have looked, I know Hempfield used, and they still use Millersville University students that are going through the student programs to be teachers and stuff. I know this can be done, and I'm with you, and with all of it. I think this is a need. It's been a need. People have, the community has been asking for it for a long time. But then again, it takes some organization. I was hoping to have it pop off by the time this spring, but I think I'm just delusional. I started several months ago researching, but it takes a committee to do that. No, I don't think it's out of reach in any way, shape, or form. I don't.
Work toward it, whether we hit it in 5 months. or
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm listening, we got to get the news out. We got to.
to.
Well, Eric and I, actually, the edible gardens, we actually donated to them over the years because we wanted to see kids get to this program and be able to do it. And it's doing very well years later. I mean, we started during COVID, met with the person who started that program. So I do know we can do this. There's enough people have contacts in this community that we can do it. I just need the committee to be there. I can make all kinds of decisions by myself, but I need to start a whole other committee outside of this committee to do that. And no.
Yeah, because they're the ones that mainly babysit for the town.
They do, right?
They don't go outside the building too much. That's the part that's sad. They go in that structure and they're in there pretty much. They go on a bus, but they leave Columbia. I don't know where they go, but they don't move the park.
They go some,
They
yeah.
go somewhere down the line.
But yeah, I would reach out to them, I would reach to Lancaster City, Lancaster, the CEO down there, and start with them and see how we can get that progressed.
You say not here.
No, but go to their head.
They have a head one in Lancaster, I guess.
Right. But they have police here, they have a building, and they have all these things that, they used to have interns and college students. They are the best partner because they're the majority of your children. They're in Columbia Borough and for the representative.
And they just reopened their doors not that long ago after being closed throughout the pandemic. So I know I went there as a kid.
So I've done some. I've been trying, pushing. So I'm getting the relationship. So mine is here. That's up and really strong. We can really make some things happen. So.